I'm here to talk to you about financial aid and FAFSA. So we're going to begin with what financial aid is, who can get it, how much you can receive, and how do you apply, what happens next, and where you can get more information from if you have additional questions. So financial aid. So what is financial aid? Financial aid is institutional aid from the university, or it could also be from the federal government. So from Loyola's experience, you can receive Loyola institutional aid, and you can also receive federal government aid as well. It all depends on when you fill out your FAFSA. So that could be in the forms of grants, work study, loans, and scholarships. Now, who can qualify for financial aid? The people that can qualify for financial aid is U.S. citizens, high school graduates, people that are seeking a bachelor's degree or a certificate, even graduate students as well. You have to have a valid Social Security, and you also have to be, for males especially, you have to be registered in selective service to receive federal funding. And for transfer students and continuing students already in college, you have to meet satisfactory academic progress to receive financial aid. So that's keeping up your grades throughout college. How much financial aid can you get? So the maximum amount for this current year, 2016, 2017, this is the amounts you can receive. It's going to change for 2017, 2018. The Pell Grant is probably going to increase again, maybe by $200, maybe $300, but we won't know that until midsummer. So right now, the federal Pell Grant, the maximum amount, if you're eligible for it, is at $5,815. With the federal work study, that really depends on the state. So it depends on the state of Illinois if they have available funding. Right now, with Loyola University, if you're eligible for federal work study, it is up to $2,000 for the academic year. But that can change. You can increase it if there's available funds. You can also receive a subsidized and unsubsidized loan combined with the amount of $5,500. That can also change. So depending on the circumstances, sometimes you can increase it a little bit more depending if you have an appeal for a certain situation changing in your life. There's also eligibility for a Direct Plus loan. This is only a loan designed for the parents. So if the parent wants to help you with financing your education with a loan, they can take out a Parent Plus loan, and that's also a federal government loan. Their interest rate is a fixed rate. It's at 5.31%, so it's a lot lower than what a private loan might offer you. With the subsidized and unsubsidized loans, their interest rate is also very low. It's at 3.67%, I believe, right now. And it changes each year, so it might change next year as well. It usually decreases through time. How much state, school, and private scholarship money can you get? This really depends on the program as well as the institution itself. With the state, right now we have, for eligible students that are state of Illinois residents, there is the MAP grant. The MAP grant this year is at $4,720. There is still pending eligibility of what's going to happen with the state right now. It is at a standstill of how much MAP is going to pay through. We're hoping that they will be able to decide that they are going to fund the state of Illinois MAP grant, but as of right now, Loyola, maybe other universities as well, will go ahead and still pay for the MAP grant. Now for scholarships, usually with scholarships, you have to seek that through the university itself. So with Loyola University, you have to ask admissions because admissions does have merit-based scholarships. The financial aid office is only in charge of federal funding, so what comes from the federal government. So you can ask us about that information. We're more than helpful to help you find scholarships with the university, but usually we direct you to the program that's in charge of it. How do I apply? So what you would do if you are interested in financial aid from the federal government, you would go to FAFSA.ed.gov. And you would have to create a username. I have a slide for that. So you have to have a username as well as a password to log into FAFSA. And you will apply through that information on that website. For school aid, specifically, let's say grants that the university might offer, with Loyola specifically, All we need and all we require is the FAFSA application. We don't seek anything else. I know with other universities, they do have other forms that they want in order to award you an award package. Some of them might ask for the CSS profile. We do not. We just want the FAFSA application. With scholarships, again, you have to contact your university specifically. Each one has their own destined program of who's in charge of the scholarships. With us, it's admissions. Before you apply for financial aid on the federal government website, you do need to create, like I said, an FSA ID, and you need to have a password as well. This is both for parent and student. So the student and parent have to have a FSA ID in order to sign and submit the application. If it doesn't, then it will get rejected and the school will need additional information. And usually when a rejected FAFSA comes into file, it takes about 3 weeks to get fixed. So you can do this on the government website. It's fasaid.ed.gov, and that's both for the parent and the student. The second part that you need to do to have on file so you can file your application is you need to have your tax return transcripts from the prior year. And that's for the parent as well as for the student if the student filed income. You also need the basic information, so basic social securities, birth dates, the list of schools that you want to apply for. Each university has their own ID. Loyola has their own ID as well. Ours is 001710, but you can also find the university manually on the FAFSA application. Okay. The next part to file your FAFSA, there is deadlines. So you do want to ask the university, each one that you're going to, at least call the financial aid office to see what deadlines they may have. With Loyola University specifically, we do not have a deadline, but with the state grants, such as the MAP grant, they do have a deadline. So their deadline probably will be by the end of December. We don't have a specific date because they're still deciding, but they tend to notify us pretty late on when the deadline already reaches. So we usually tell students to file the sooner the better, just so they can have that instance of having that MAP grant on file. The best thing you can do is contact university just to make sure that they don't have deadlines, and if they do, what it is. But with Loyola, we do not. Okay. So the next process is when you submit your FAFSA, you are going to get an email, usually within a business day or 3, letting you know that it's been processed. So when it's processed, it takes about 7 business days for the university to receive that. With Loyola University specifically, since FAFSA just opened on October 1st, we have not loaded the new FAFSA applications yet. We're waiting on to upload them to our accounts, but most students that are coming in for the next year will probably get an award letter maybe by the first week of January, letting them know what their award package is. If we need additional information, we will let you know, but you'll get an email as well as a letter sent home letting you know that we received your FAFSA. Your packaging award letter should be coming in soon. So you'll receive about 2 letters from Loyola University. One will be we received your award package, and then the second one will be your award package as well as what scholarships you may be able to receive as well. Okay, so watch out for emails and letters sent from the school. There is another letter that will be coming in maybe by, I would say, March, and that would be if we need additional information. So a lot of times with filing your FAFSA, you get selected for what's known as verification. So verification is a process of what we want to know more information about your circumstances. So we want to know a little bit more information on the household size as well as the parent's income, and anything else that FAFSA might need. So when we have that information, we have to verify that everything on the FAFSA, everything you have filed matches, and then we send it to Department of Ed, and they'll okay us to give you award packages. There's another process as well. I haven't posted it on here, but if for some reason the situation changes between your parents, let's say for example your parent lost their income, a week or 2 after you submitted your FAFSA, you can submit an appeal to us. And with that appeal, we'll be able to make changes to that FAFSA and see if you can get more aid either from the federal government or from the institution. It's always best to communicate if anything changes within the household so that we can help you a little bit more. Let's see. Also, each university that you put on the FAFSA, they will send you letters as well, just like Loyola. So each one, expect to receive a letter from each one, letting you know what packages they send you. It's always best to compare and contrast which one gives you a little bit more. A lot of these universities, they have flexibility of maybe giving you a little bit more, so it's always best to call them and ask them if there's anything else that they can do, anything else that they can provide. As far as financial aid, any kind of institutional grants, scholarships that they may be able to wiggle with a little bit more. It's always best just to ask those questions because sometimes they can increase a little bit more just for you. If you want to get more questions or you have more questions about financial aid, or if you want to know more about the MAP grants or the Pell grants or how loans will change, you can always go to the website of studentaid.gov. They'll be able to give you information, and once you create your FSA ID, they'll link your ID and your information to your account. So when you, let's say, take out loans or if you take out grants, they'll list the financial aid that they have witnessed that you are receiving. It's always good just to keep an eye on that. If you have questions about FAFSA, for some reason you're trying to do your FAFSA application and it's not letting you go to the next page or something technically is wrong, it's always best to contact the 1-800 number. They'll be able to fix that for you. And with Loyola specifically, if you have questions about Loyola's financial aid, you can contact us at our phone number is 773-508-7704. You can also find our contact information online. And you can also go to our website on luc.edu/finaid. We have a lot of information about financial aid on that website. Okay, does anybody have questions? Any questions about financial aid? Okay. Okay, thank you for coming. My name again is Viviana. I'm an assistant director at Financial Aid. This is my phone number and my email. You can probably find that online as well. It's LUC, so it's basically Loyola University Financial Aid at luc.edu. Thank you. Any questions, make sure to contact me.